This is a video about writing the equations of lines. The first problem that we have says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, passing through the point 3, negative 2, and parallel to the line 3x minus 5y equals to 20. Right here it says we need to end up in slope-intercept form, so let's recall what that is. That's the form y equals mx plus b. And it's passing through this point. And so let's go ahead and label our point. This is x1, y1. We can label that. It's parallel to the line 3x minus 5y equals to 20. Now to write the equation of a line, you need two things. You need the slope of that line, and you need any point on that line. We have one point on our line right here, 3, negative 2. We need the slope, but they didn't give us the slope, but they gave us enough information we could get it. Here's a line parallel to our line. And if we recall that parallel lines, doesn't really look parallel, let me try again. Parallel lines have the same slope. So the slope of one is equal to the slope of the other. So if we could determine the slope of this line, we would know what our slope is. I'm going to solve this equation for y, and that will put it in slope-intercept form, and then whatever's next to my x will be the slope of that line. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. And that gives me y is equal to a negative 3 divided by a negative 5 gives me a positive 3/5 x, and positive 20 divided by negative 5 gives me negative 4. What I need from this is just the slope. The slope of the line parallel to my line is 3/5. And knowing that the slope of parallel lines is the same, the slope of my line over here is also 3/5. Once I know the slope and I know a point, I can use this formula, point-slope form. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I'm underlining the parts of this equation that change depending on which line, what point and what slope. So that's what I'm going to fill in for this formula. I'm going to say y minus, and then y1 is equal to negative 2. This equals to m. My slope here is 3/5, parentheses, x minus x1, which is 3. So this is the equation of my line, and to get it in slope-intercept form, I just have to solve for y. Y minus y2 is y plus 2 equals to 3/5 x minus 3/5 times negative 3. This is what it looks like. 3/5 times negative 3 over 1 is negative 9/5. So this is minus 9/5. The last thing I have to do is subtract 2 from both sides. So I get y is equal to 3/5 x, and then I have negative 9 over 5 minus 2 over 1. I need a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5. Negative 9/5 minus 10/5 gives me negative 19 over 5 minus 19 over 5. And this is the equation of the line passing through the point 3, negative 2, and parallel to the line 3x minus 5y equals to 20 in slope-intercept form. The second problem that they give us is write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, passing through the point negative 1, negative 4, and perpendicular, two lines that cross forming a right angle, to the line 2x plus 3y equals 10. They came out and told us a point. Here's a point, x1, y1. What they didn't tell us was the slope, but they gave us enough information to determine the slope. If we can figure out the slope of this line, then we know how slopes of perpendicular lines relate. One is the opposite reciprocal of the other. So that's what we need to remember. So when we solve this equation for y, we subtract 2x from both sides, and we get 3y is negative 2x plus 10. Then we divide both sides by 3. We will get that y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 10 over 3. The slope of the line that's perpendicular to our line is negative 2/3. That's not our slope. Our slope is perpendicular to this. So our slope is going to be the opposite. So positive, reciprocal, 3/2. This is our slope, the opposite reciprocal of that slope. Now we just plug it into our point slope form. Y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. These are the parts that change. So I'm going to write y minus, and my y1 is negative 4, equals to m, which is 3/2, parentheses x minus, and my x1 is negative 1. Looks like that. So now we just need to solve for y. On the left we have y plus 4 is equal to 3/2 times x plus 1. We can distribute the 3/2. 3/2 x plus 3/2. Then all we have to do is subtract 4 from both sides. We get y is equal to 3/2 x plus 3/2 minus 4/1. 3/2 minus 4/1. We need a common denominator of 2. So it's 3/2 minus 8/2. 3 minus 8 is negative 5/2. So y is equal to 3/2 x minus 5/2.